the blue carpet for the most hotly anticipated romance of the year, The Fault in Our Stars. This is all YouTube.
Awesome.
What do people not get about YouTube? What does established entertainment not understand about YouTube?
They don't understand that it's where real people really connect to other real people, which is the future of media. The future of media is not like performers connecting to an audience. It's people connecting directly to people, and YouTube has obviously been very good to me, but I really believe that it only works as long as I stay authentic to my relationship with my audience.
So, you're the ones who touched John Green's words, eh?
That's exactly right. That's what we're feeling right now. That attitude.
We touched John Green a lot.
Oh, good. Well, what do you think is unique about his voice?
I think he doesn't talk down to his audience. He treats young people like young adults with respect and dignity, and it reminded us of our storytelling heroes growing up, the movies of Cameron Crowe and John Hughes, and we fell in love with the book the same way as everyone else.
How's it going?
I'm really impressed. Everybody knows who you are on this blue carpet.
I was saying it's so many years of being in the background of Twilight. All these people, or most of these people, were there on Twilight. They're here on Fault in Our Stars. So I guess at some point they start to notice the producer.
Oh, well, you have the golden touch. How did you recognize this? How did you know this would be another Twilight, perhaps?
I don't know. I think I'm a teen girl trapped in a 46-year-old man's body. I mean, I have teenagers, boys, and I'm inherently drawn to emotional stories, and I think that's what really, connects with teen girls, is stories that make them feel deeply and make them ask big questions about life and love. And so whenever I read like a great transcendent love story, I want to do it.
I saw you at the X-Men red carpet just earlier this month.
Right.
How was it to have
What a month,
right?
huh?
Well, this
doesn't happen that often, but when it does, it's fabulous.
I know, you guys are kicking off the summer so spectacularly.
Well, we're very fortunate, yeah.
How does it feel to have a movie like this, a smaller film, be just as big with the fans?
Well, it's something really special. This is the ultimate zeitgeist movie. The fans for this movie, I was saying before, we could have filled Yankee Stadium with the request for tickets.
Wow.
I mean, it's just been crazy. And it's just been building. The book's so beloved, and John is so beloved.
Yes.
And he's been touring the country with Shay and Ansel, and thousands of people have shown up. And it's one of those things. It's inspirational and celebratory, and it's just a wonderful feeling that when you come out of that theater, you've seen this film that's about some of life's toughest adversity, and you feel great.
This is a very difficult subject matter, right? And now you have a movie helping, and you're doing something to help too.
Absolutely. We're using motorsports, IndyCar racing, as a platform to raise funds in the fight against cancer. I unfortunately lost my mother at the very young age of 50 years old, and it seemed like an opportunity there to do something different. And Auto Nation's come on board with my charity, Racing for Cancer, and we're going to hit the $2 million mark this year. So
wow.
It's been a very productive year.
Teenagers are infamous for thinking they're immortal. Why would they want to see this movie?
That's a good question. Well, listen, teenagers want to see this movie because it's such a great love story, and it's also really smart. This movie's very philosophical and very existential, and Scott and Michael, who wrote the script, were very loyal to this book, and they did such a good job with it. And John Green has just wrote really wise teenage characters, and if anybody feels like an outsider, or it's really good for people like that too. And I don't know, it's a gorgeous movie. It's really beautiful, profound movie.
What were your goals in adapting it? What needed to be done?
For us, really, like anytime you do a book adaptation, you have to make a few changes, but we were so protective of that text, and it was so important to us to capture everything that you possibly could in that novel and retain it and make it cinematic. There's some extra video game playing in the book that no one wants to see, and there's a few things like that we had to do. But for the most part, this is as faithful, I think, a book adaptation as you're likely to see.
There are no vampires here, though. This is not like a high-concept movie.
We were looking, actually, for a movie that was going to be an antidote to the kind of post-apocalyptic stuff or the supernatural stuff. After Twilight had come and Hunger Games had come, I really wanted to find a book that was like the books I had growing up, like The Outsiders or, Rebel Without a Cause, or things like that. So when we had known John Green's writing, and when this book came out, we read it the night it came out. We went and bought it, and it just blew me away. I was like, we have to make this movie. This is what I'm talking about. It's about real people going through life and death stakes with grace and humor and love, and it's everything I want to do in a movie.
It's the toughest to see teenagers with it too, because they're in a state of transition as is, going from a child to an adult, and they're fighting a disease at the same time. It's just we've seen a few cases that we've worked with that way, and I couldn't imagine anyone going through that. So this story is it's touching, and I hope the viewers come out, see it. I hope the movie does great, because you know what, it's gonna open people's eyes.
If they want to help out with your organization, where should they go?
Thank you for asking. RacingForCancer.org.
Immortality is a subjective thing. Maybe they're immortal in their, in your love or in your friendships or in your memories. Maybe that's
I like that.
That's what we're saying.
That's kind of the theme of the film, right?
You should write that down.
Right.
Good question.
Why do you think this subject matter, this very dark subject matter, but hopeful, connects with your viewership? What's the correlation?
I just think that people, the world is hard for everyone. I think nobody you never have a life without hardship, and I think that people connect, people feel, and that book has been an opportunity for that, and a way to connect with that, and just a way to connect with really amazing characters and sort of unfamiliar circumstances, hopefully, but circumstances that I think we all can relate to in some way anyway.